Oregon is probably one of the most beloved maps in Rainbow Six Siege. That being said, there's a lot people still don't know about the map. So in this video, I have compiled 15 tips and tricks on Oregon for both new and old players to help you improve on this map, because we all know that that random teammate isn't going to vote for anything else, so you might as well get good at Oregon. Right, this is a great one for the double wall which faces into Trophy into Attic Pit. This isn't going to be a boring site setup video, don't worry, but it is really common to reinforce this right hand side, and depending on who you're with, they'll either make head holes here, or it's also not crazy uncommon to also reinforce this side. Me personally, depends on the site hold we're doing. There are some downsides to actually putting head holes in this side, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the tip I want to give here is the top of this is actually soft, which I think a lot of people seem to forget. So as you see, you can shoot all of this open. This allows any defender here to throw a nitro cell over, or attacker to throw nades over, or let's say given the chance that maybe you still have control here and they've taken out of control, you can throw a nitro cell over there. But I think something which is really good with smoke here is if you throw your smoke canister like on here, for example, on the roof or like on that little light, and you detonate it, what you'll see is the smoke will actually disperse downwards and it'll actually hit anyone in here. So if you still have attic control, for example, and they're taking trophy, it's a dying moments of the round, you know, they're really pressuring that doorway. It's quite, you know, they jiggle peek it. It's quite a dangerous peek for them. So they are really trying to take control of this doorway. You just throw a smoke canister here, detonate it, and it is really going to slow down the push on that doorway, assisting teammates who are, you know, over here trying to fight it. Maybe they're worried about white, maybe breach is open as well. You're just going to be helping your teammate a lot. And one of the biggest issues with smoke, I guess it's not an issue, but one of the biggest downsides to playing him is that a lot of the time you will have to, you know, peek an angle without a weapon in your hand like that, for example. You can do it quick, but you could be picked off, or you could be shot from breach, for example. So this little tip just allows you to throw smoke canisters and other gadgets over the wall, detonate it, and hitting people on the other side. Now, I said that sometimes head holes on this wall, pretend these are defender head holes and this wall is reinforced, can be a hindrance to the defending team. Now, the reason why I say this is more and more recently, a angle which is becoming more popular is actually sitting on armory window, bringing in an operator like Ash or Zofia or Kali to destroy this box. I'm just going to use Buck for simplicity's sake, but they destroy this box on top of here. They also make some holes here using, I don't know, their gun, an Ash charge, Kali, sniper, you know, it doesn't matter what they destroy it with, but they managed to destroy the top of this as well as making a hole here. And what it actually grants is anyone who is on rappel on armory can look over and they can see through the attic head holes, which you can see there. And that is where the kids rotate is, so they can see all the way into attic. And especially if you have someone pushing from tower, for example, attic is a very key place to hold when defending top floor. So they get an angle all the way through these head holes, and especially when you've got the default kids rotate over here, typically is where a lot of people like to put it. From the top of that window, as you can see, a lot of people like to hold an angle on here. You're going to get picked off there. It's quite a hard angle as well for you to fight back, especially when you're not expecting it. Even if breach is open and, you know, you're worrying about someone pushing attic and stuff like that. Someone being here, an angle over there, you're gonna get picked off of it. It's not very common, so I will say that it doesn't happen all the time, but it's something I'm seeing more and more common as time goes on with this map when people are trying to experiment and do more things. So just be aware of that if you are opening the attic head holes. We're still in attic. I promise we'll move to a different part of the map in a minute, but there's another angle I really want to show off here, and this is something that people have been using a lot recently as well, and it's this angle, which is down the side of this blue tarp. Now, let's say we're over here, right? Very common for a Maverick to come into tower and make a Mav little circle here to enter. That's because you got the cover of this. You'll probably have even like a line of Maverick holes here. So let me just shoot this open. Pretend this is like a Maverick hole. You got someone on the stairs. They're holding attic pit. Maverick makes a little small breach, walks through, and that gives attackers a little entry point into the attic. Now, because of the way this little blue tarp is placed, you can actually get an angle here. So if you make your Mav hole to the right here, because it's probably reinforced, you get an angle all the way here. You can, you know, see quite a bit of it. And that's something which a lot of people have been doing recently. But you also have to remember as well, if you are a defender, you can also fight back to this angle as well. So it works both ways. If you have an attacker who's on the ball and instantly, you know, maybe expecting someone to be pit and they make a mav hole here, they get a pick on the person in pit. But since that is the common side for the entry point for Maverick to go through, because as you see, it is covered. So if that is a very common bit, just beware as a defender that you can potentially get an easy pick on the person walking through that rotate by looking down the side of this angle as well. This is probably one of the more used angles these days, which you're seeing more and more on the rise as well ever since it was discovered, so just keep this one in mind as well. Using this bit of the floor in attic, both as an attacker and defender, can be quite beneficial. Let's say you're holding basement and you're doing an extended roam as a defender, using a bailiff, pocket shotgun, whatever you want it to be, making a hole here, you can see we have stage. And then making another hole in the wall here, you can see that we actually have tower stairs. If you to the left side as well, you can see the stair going up, and you can see the staircase going down. If you make a hole which is a lot smaller than mine, because obviously I'm just using Buck for demonstration purposes, you can actually sneakily get anyone pushing these back staircases, especially if it's a shield or something like that. This is probably one of the occasions where I'd say Oryx actually works quite well, because if you have this hatch open, and you know, they're contesting this hatch, and there's a lot of stuff you can do with Oryx on Oregon. One of the few maps where I think Oryx is actually pretty good on. But you know, if you're playing this sort of extended hold, you're really being a hindrance to the attacking team. You have this angle, you can take them out on stairs as well. And I guess I should mention, this also does work for the attackers as well. I guess if you're watching a flank, or maybe, I don't know, maybe the site is actually staged and stuff like that, you can use this. I feel like this is an angle though that will benefit the defending team way more than it'll ever benefit the attacking team. But I just want to make you aware that this is something that you can do. This is an angle that you should consider in quite a few situations, especially as a defender. I'll also throw in this little bonus one that if you come to the top of tower and shotgun the hole here, as well as having meeting hatch open, you actually can get an angle all the way down by the electrical door. How useful will this be? Probably not very useful. I mean, default plant spot is like here, for example, and you can technically hold it all the way from there, but you know, if they're tucked in a corner, you're going to be too far away to even hit them. I guess I should also mention, however, you could use this angle as a defender to stop them from opening the hatch, or at least pressuring them once it is opened. Right, this one you've probably seen a billion times. I'm going to add more to it. It isn't just this same tip which you've already seen, but you know, if it's a dining sort of hold, they've got a double reinforcement here, there's electric claw on it, blah blah blah. Everyone knows this. If you don't, here it is. But you know, there's the wall there. If you come up, pretend the wall is reinforced. If you put a thermite charge just here on the floor, what you'll see is when we detonate it, it will open up the top half of the wall. Again, everyone kind of already knows this. Again, pretend it's reinforced, but it does the exact same thing. And then you have an angle into the site. But I feel like people are like, oh my god, that's so cool, you can do that on this wall, and then they think this is just like the only wall in the game you can do this to. Like this wall as well, which is probably double reinforced if they're playing in the kitchen side, not if they're playing in meeting, because you need that rotate. But that's double reinforced. See, we'll like throw down a drone, we'll head upstairs, because everyone just thinks it's tower you can do this, but this map has so many availabilities for thermite. So it's like roughly here. Move the drone around just to show you. So like this bit, they like to keep it reinforced. Here's the middle of the wall. If we place a thermite charge just about here, stand back, I'll detonate it and quickly go on my cam. And as you'll see, there you go. There's the top half of the reinforcement open. So now that means that the entirety of kitchen is now exposed from garage and split and meeting. And even if this wall's reinforced, you've just got that with a thermite from above. Like again, people just think that thermite can just do one wall on this map. Like it's really funny that everyone's just like thinks he's like a one-trick pony for tower when that's really not the case. So yeah, just make sure you keep this in mind when you're playing thermite on Oregon. Ram is also insanely good if they're playing in dining and kitchen, because you can just come to double window, turn the boogie to the left turning setting, throw that in, quickly run round. That'll do its job. You'll see it'll like make holes here, start to make holes through. It actually goes under there, which I didn't even know before. That's fucking hilarious. But yeah, you see it like it does this, goes under there, which I just learned now, hence the reaction. But look how much vert you get. So let's say you've done that, right? You throw it left. Sorry, that was really funny that that's went under there. I genuinely did not know I'd done that. But like, even if you just come to this window, right? You throw it, go on vert. Actually, probably don't even have to go on vert, if we're being honest. but you can just get the vert holes into dining as well. But like, yeah, you see the amount of verticality you get on dining pretty much instantly, and I've still got another boogie in my pocket. Yeah, it's just even the phantom pressure you give, because like this corner over here, very common for people to like even sit on a cam and stuff like that. So getting this open within like genuinely the first 20 seconds of the round is pretty crazy, and that is actually so funny that that goes under there. I genuinely did not know that that would fit. Look at him go. What a good little boy, look at that. Ow! A reminder as well, probably one of the clips I posted that blew up the most was, if this wall is reinforced with bandit batteries on it, it has to be bandit batteries unless the electric law is placed quite low. You can bring a fuse, you can either fuse the floor, as you'll see in the clip I'll probably be showing, and it will bounce around in classroom below, and it will then destroy the bandit batteries off the other side of the wall, and you'll be able to hard breach it yourself. As well as this, if you come down to classroom and you like fuse the top of this barricade as high as you can, it will also do the same effect as well, but I prefer just doing it from the closet because then I can instantly hard breach it myself. So that's probably the best use for fuse, and probably not just Oregon, probably just like in the game in general. But if you've ever watched my streams, you'll see me doing this all the time. It's the best way to solo open the closet breach, so just keep that one in mind. And yeah, that little clip is probably one of my favorites I ever hit. I love doing that one. But I'm going to give you quite a quick little lesson in verticality here. It's not going to be too long for the top floor. Underneath top white door, you have bottom white door. Keep that in mind, both as an attacker and as a defender. Come here by bunks, underneath here, you have white window and the bottom of white stairs. Come under the double window, as you can see, we have security, and then you can buck through that, or anything through that wall. And you've got the doorway as well, and of course you've got the hatch on the other side, so you see through the wall you have that little area there as well. Let's say you're playing as a defender. This is probably one of the most common plant spots for attackers to take, just because there is a lot of protection in this corner. So remember where that one ping is. That is above what we call Z hallway. So as you see here, it is here. See the floorboards are going left to right here. That means the metal beams are going top to bottom. And right here is the most common plant spot. So just remember, right, you can use these picture frames, or you can just remember at this little 90 corridor, where this corner hits this corner, nitro above you, and that is where the default plant spot is. Just keep that little bit in mind. Heading back upstairs, show this little bit off for RAM as well, but when it's a dining bit, over here, very common bit for defenders to sit in, keep that one in mind. If you come over to bedroom, of course, all of this down here is lobby, so you can see main door. A lot of you probably all knew that. We make a corner hole over here, you can see anyone pushing up armory stairs. Moving into armory, quite an easy to understand one because there is a hatch, of course. Garage is below you, making a hole here. We'll show you garage door, and making some holes here. Just I'll open a bunch of them just to show you the difference here. You've got garage door, you've got this soft wall here, or can be reinforced, and then you've got bottom lobby staircase. Next up, we have probably one of the, I'd say, most awkward angles on Oregon, and probably in the game as well, and it's this one. If you destroy the fan on top of this chair, you can sprint on top of it, sprint on top of this generator, look over this wall, and you can see anyone who is swinging the bunker door. Now, the reason why I say this is a weird angle, because as you can see, here's my bullets on the wall. You can hardly see me over there. I'll show you the angle from this position. It's just up there. So again, very awkward. If you're playing on that, you're going to get a pick on anyone standing here. But what makes this weird is, if you're in 90 and you're crouched, they can actually hardly even see you there. Like, they can, don't get me wrong, but you're going to be in a bit of a weird off angle, especially if you get quite close to the door. You can actually pick them off before they even see you. So that's why I see this as an awkward angle, because it can pay off as an attacker. Boom, 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 boom. But as a defender, you can play like a really weird off angle here, and like kind of be in their blind spot. So I found myself stop using this angle just because I've been punished so much by like a defender crouching there. But that being said, if you have someone like here and you have someone like here, a defender is probably too scared to crouch here, so it makes the angle viable. That's why I just want to talk about it, because it is a good angle. you can just actually be countered by it just by someone crouching here. So just make sure you understand which situation you're using it in, because it's a bit awkward. This right here is another common angle which you've probably seen before, but it's very important if you have not. Of course, electrical hatch, bunker and everything, common push point, as well as rear stage tower stairs. And if you have elbow, you know, typically reinforcement here. And if, you know, if they're collapsing, I recommend reinforcing the rotation if you do have to give up elbow. However, that is not this tip. This tip is this angle. This is a really common angle. You have the default plant spot right on the other side of this wall. You have people dropping, you have people pushing, and you have people peeking into this angle. Now, this is between the bomb chassis, and this is all the way to this, what I like to call this mirror box. I know no one else calls it because there's always a mirror window here, but its real name is supply, or supply closet, or closet, whatever you want. Closet is probably the best name. So this angle here, you're going to have head-on engagements at head level with people on electrical door. Now, most good players understand that people will play here, so they'll actually do the counter and like pre-fire, and then if there's no one there, they'll hold the angle, so you'll have to like play into them. So just be aware of that this is a very common like angle for both defense and both for attackers, who are both going to be using this for their advantage. Especially like if someone's going for a plant there, you know, someone's going to be holding this, you know what I mean? Like, it's the first point of contact for anyone that swings around by the rotate, or 90 if it's still open. So this is a very, very, very common angle you definitely have to be aware of, because you've probably died to it a few times, and if you haven't, you've probably got a few coming for you if you aren't aware of this and aren't prepared for this, because yeah, happens pretty much every match. Every time there's a collapse here, this angle is going to be the one suppressing you. You also have to worry about pillar and hallway as well. The freezer is a room with not much going for it other than just a hatch and a staircase, but the angle you'll see most people using is if you stand on this crate, aim left, you can see people on the staircase. Now, of course, if you're on the staircase yourself, you are going to have to be aware of this. I wouldn't say this is necessarily like an insanely attacker favorite angle. You can still, a defender favorite angle. You can, as an attacker, still do a lot of stuff. It can't be seen from the hatch, so keep that in mind. But if you are pushing down, the main bit which people are going to be aiming at is this bit. So honestly, if you're playing like a weird off angle down there, they may actually get caught off guard. But just remember, as an attacker, you can still fight back on this, so I don't think it's like crazy for defense. Can somewhat sneak around, but I wouldn't recommend it because your arm will probably be sticking out, and you do have to just worry for them just, you know, getting that wee off angle on you if they can see you like sneaking around at the bottom and stuff like that. Because as you see where I just shot my shot, it goes there on the stair. So like, do you really want to risk it for you here and a shot landing there for them to see you? It's doable, yes, but it's very risky. So one of the biggest push points is this angle. So if you haven't been looking at this when you're pushing freezer on Oregon, then start doing it, because it's going to be very rare that someone is playing freezer and they're not playing in that position. Would be very surprising if people don't do that. Going to give you some tower tips as well. Of course, if you peek outside this window, you can see anyone in the attic window, kids rappel, as well as anyone who swings around by the dorm's double window. This window over here as well is really great if someone is in garage, because you can just pressure this doorway. And it's going to be a weird bit to take them by surprise, especially if they're having like a gunfight with someone in lobby and you're over here. Just got to be aware when people spawn, they do come around this way, and they will probably be looking out for you. And of course, you can also see all the way over to here. Now, this is actually known as satellite window. That is the main call out for this little window, because there's a satellite outside of it. But yeah, you do have some occasions where, you know, if they're pushing armory, for example, someone who's holding tower can actually take a gunfight onto here, because if you're trying to push armory stairs and there's someone in trophy, you know, this is a really awkward angle for you to face against, especially if they're up there, because then they're also going to have peekers advantage because they have the high ground and they're going to see you before you see them. So just be aware of that and know that this is known as satellite window in case you ever hear that call out and you don't really know what that means. You also have this really annoying nitro throw, which Thakil made popular, which I'm terrible at, so thank you, Dylan. But it sort of makes the nitro land here, which, I mean, if you've ever played bunker, you know, having a nitro cell there is pretty detrimental. But it requires you to jump out tower. Now, if I do this first try, I'm going to be amazed with myself. I never do this. I'm terrible at it. What we need to do is come here, you need to run out, throw the nitro cell. Oh my it first try? Yeah, but as you'll see, it goes over, lands here, and of course, you just detonate it from out there. I'm actually so surprised I done that first try. I never do that first try. But I think you can imagine, you know, if it's a basement defense, as you can see, a lot of them are bundled outside bunker in that bit of the protection. You go for this little hero play, throw the nitro, don't cock it up like I'd done the second time there, do it like I did the first time. You're going to get some kills from it. It's pretty insane. Right, this drone hole over here has always existed, but for some reason, people just act like they didn't know it was here all the time. And like, I'll genuinely see like diamond players and be like, there's a drone hole there? And it's like, how do you not know this? So that's why I'm giving you this tip. There is indeed a drone hole into attic. You know, if you bring a Twitch or something and there's bandits on that wall, you're going for like an attic push or something like that. Like, there you go, you'll clear them. Like, I understand it is hidden by a bit of sheet metal. That being said, for the amount of time people play Oregon, still very surprised that so many people don't know that there's a drone hole here. It's how you get your drone into attic. It's how you clear that wall if you need to, or, you know, do you typically run a Maverick? Do you need to clear that wall? Maybe. Who knows? That being said, even if you just need to drone it, there is a drone hole in attic. Please tell your friends this, because the amount of times I've seen people like just struggling to get their drone into attic, or like trying to like just get it through the window and it just gets shot instantly. It's really annoying. There is a drone hole in attic, guys. Please, please, please use it. And so everyone, those were 15 tips and tricks on the map Oregon. Let me know what you think about this video format. It's something different than I've usually done. If you like it, let me know. If you don't, please also let me know. I want to know what content you guys like and don't like. I'm a big boy, I can take the criticism. But be sure to drop a like on this video if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you haven't already, since we're trying to hit 200k. It would be appreciated. And have an incredible rest of your day. I'll catch you later. I love you all. Stay safe. Peace.